Okay, let's dissect day one of potty training. If you don't know me, I'm Jamie Glowacki, and I'm the author of Oh Crap Potty Training and Oh Crap I Have a Toddler. So today I want to really go through day one of potty training because I find parents are getting really tied to the wrong markers of success. And I want to go over what we're really looking for, what we're trying to accomplish on the first day or two of potty training. I am doing this because I recently had an in-home potty training, and these are great. My son is 17 now, and even though I have a full client load and I work with kids potty training all the time, it's so great to be in person with a 2-year-old, with a 3-year-old, because they're just so unreasonable. And you forget that as your child becomes more reasonable, right? So this little boy I was working with, he was amazing. And one thing I found hilarious was he would just be perfectly joyful 1 second and then for seemingly no reason be on the floor, having a meltdown. So yeah, they're unreasonable. Not to say that they're not capable, and I know that they can potty train with ease. So day one of potty training, believe it or not, and this sounds very counterintuitive, we are not necessarily marking success as pee or poop in the potty. Of course, that's the main goal. But the real thing that we're doing on the first few days of potty training is we're looking for two things. The first thing is their pee signal or their pee dance. So every child has a signal of sorts, right? Classic ones are deer in the headlights, holding their crotch, walking on tiptoes, getting antsy. Sometimes it's just a pause in the action. So that is what we're looking for, because that's going to give us the heads up that the child is getting ready to pee. And that doesn't always happen in the first half of the day, or maybe even the first day. The second thing we're looking for is their pee pattern. And this is how much fluids do they intake? And how much pee does that produce and when? So every kid is different. And remember, we don't know how they filled that diaper, okay? We don't know if it was little squirts all day long till you saw that the diaper was full. We don't know if it was 2 releases, 3 releases, 1 full release. We have no idea how they filled the diaper and how they voided their bladder. So that is now the data that we are collecting. And the reason it's really important to start noticing this is because this is information you will give other caregivers, whether it's your mom or daycare, whatever that looks like. This is also going to allow you to leave the house earlier in the process. If you know your child can hold it for say 2 or 3 hours after waking up, then definitely, then you might go run an errand, right, in the morning. Or if your child has to pee right upon wakening, which is common as well, then you know you got to stick around the house till you get that pee. So these two things are super vital because they're going to spearhead the whole process and get you to know the signals so then you can teach your child the signals, okay? So what I find is that parents are getting really tied up in like success or failure and having these super high highs and super low lows within the first 6 hours of potty training. So I'll give this family as an example. The first 2 pees the child did. Now, first of all, the child woke up with a dry diaper. So that's important to note because you go, okay, if the diaper's dry, probably going to have to go soon. If the diaper's wet, is it cold or is it warm? Because if it's cold, they peed a while ago, so you have a little more time to expect to pee. If it's warm, you may be going quite a few hours before that first pee, okay? So that's kind of good information. So this diaper was dry, so we were kind of like, okay, well, we should expect to pee fairly soon. So the first 2 pees we missed, and I'm the professional. So this child appeared to have no signal. It just sort of happened. It happened, the minute both of us were looking at each other and not looking at him. At one point, he was kind of pushed up against the couch. He was bare bummed, but he was pushed up against the couch and we didn't have full visuals. So he also showed no signal. So the mom was wringing her hand. She was getting upset. Oh my God, I thought he was smart. I thought he could do this. This is a failure. I want him to be successful. She was really getting worked up. And I was like, wait. Even I missed it. And the problem with that is that the child showed no signal. So I was like, now our goal is not about the pee, it's about noticing his signal and getting that signal down. Now what we did once he had the pee, he was able to finish a little pee on the potty and then took that little insert and dumped it in the toilet. He was starting to learn. We're showing him the ropes. The pee goes here and then we put it in the toilet. Now, in a perfect world, we could just say that to a toddler and they'd understand and do it, but that's not what happens. We teach by by commitment, consistency, and repetition. But first, this kid is on day 1. He's been in a diaper since birth. Most kids are in a diaper before their first feeding. So literally, the beginning of their lives, this is all they've known. So this is a huge step for them. Again, I think they're perfectly capable, but it's really good to keep this in mind from their perspective. So we're giving this child the tools. Pee goes here, now the pee goes in the toilet. Cool. By the 3rd pee, he had a signal. He was playing with a car, stopped and paused, and I was like, oh, hey, get to the potty. Brought the potty here. We brought it to him. Even though I said get to the potty, we brought the potty to him. He sat and he peed. And he was like, oh, we did a gentle praise, high five, fist bump. Excellent. Let's go throw that in the toilet. He did. He loved flushing it, the whole 9 yards. They loved that part. That was awesome. After that, his signal got stronger and we had a little more time. So remember, in those first days, you have like 1 second from that signal to the pee. They're still learning. Don't stress out about that. Now, the interesting thing about this kid's pattern is, again, his diaper was dry, so we expected a pee to come pretty soon. His first pee wasn't till 4 hours after he woke up. So we were like, oh, okay, cool. So we don't know on day 1 that that's his definitive pattern, because sometimes that morning pee can be harder to release, especially if the diaper's dry. So I wouldn't ever say day 1, the pattern's going to be the pattern, but now we had a little more information. So we're learning. So then we can steer the process, get back to real life, but also we can be more on the lookout for the child, right? The other thing about day 1 is it is insanely boring. I do not sugarcoat this in my book, and I don't want to sugarcoat this here. It is going to be the most boring day of your life. I like to reframe it and say it's a day of discovery. You should have activities planned. You should have snacks and lunch pre-made. I would really encourage like floor picnics, or if your child can kneel on a chair, because getting locked into a high chair usually causes an accident on that first day. But you definitely want to be prepared. You cannot look at your phone. You cannot look away. The minute you look away, your child will pee, which is natural, right? They're now naked. They're looking for like a little unconscious privacy, and they just pee on the floor. So it is mind-numbingly boring, but it also can be really fun. It can be fun to spend so much time with your kid and really like have this really great connection time with them. But it's exhausting. Yeah, so make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you go to bed early the night before. Make sure you're well hydrated. Like this is a marathon, guys. You got to be ready for it. So I want you to be like, really take care of yourself. Don't binge on Netflix with a bottle of wine the night before. You won't be an effective teacher. You'll be too high strung and too emotional about everything. And then the last thing is, please stay out of your own emotions. We're not judging anything when a child is learning. We want to give them time to learn this milestone. And that's why I'm so opposed to these 3-day methods, because parents expect this to be signed, sealed, delivered in 3 days. It's just not the case. It's not how it goes. All right, so that's day 1. If you found this helpful and you need more help or have questions, you can comment below, or I have free and paid resources in the description. Help yourself. I have a lot of information out there, so you can go look for that. And as always, comment if you have a question, like, share, subscribe, and rock on. Have a beautiful day.